Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for listening to me. This video is all about some of the readers have asked these questions about my new book about 101 business transformation case studies. Why I have written this book, what was the background about this. So I thought of capturing this in a story format. The incident happened around 5 years back when I have attended one interview for a global program manager role. It's one of the reputed organization who has called for this interview. And that interview process has really changed my life, and the approach the interview process has been taken. So I have been called for the interview, and I was prepared for someone who will come and really interact with me. That was the background. But they have given me one problem statement, one two-pager problem statement, and they gave me a big room with the whiteboard and everything. They asked me to spend 1 hour, and then someone will attend me. And I was open for that kind of interview process because it was also new to me, and I was excited to really explore this option. The problem statement was for a particular business unit. The business unit is undergoing different types of challenges into the digital transformation, and for as a program manager, how do I approach for this particular program to be solved? So I called. I have been invited for this conversation. As a program manager. So I started, and even in the problem statement, it is written that capture all your thought process, your approach, your solutions, and what are the different assumptions you are taking to resolve this particular problem. So that's how I actually started spending 60 minutes, and I must say that it has really churned out all the thoughts, whatever I have been thinking about it, what are the types of challenges I have been experiencing so far in my career, and I had to really apply all these things to really come out with some kind of a proposition to really help that particular business unit to resolve this the problem. 60 minutes was really a lot of thoughts and a different approach about the program management strategy, especially because the role is about the program manager. So as a program manager is the umbrellic term where you need to really consider different factors to really help that business unit to really flourish in the digital transformation. So I had to consider about the end-to-end program plan. I had to consider about the different types of risk that particular business unit is foreseeing, and I had to really propose a different kind of proposition, like alternative plans, like a plan A, plan B, or different types of thoughts, whatever is coming to resolve some of this problem. So after 60 minutes, someone appeared to interact with me, and his approach was he looked into the board, what I am actually capturing my thoughts into that whiteboard, the end-to-end program plan perspective, the assumptions I have considered to really resolve this particular problem, the kind of technological bottlenecks what I am considering, and how to overcome those technological bottlenecks by proposing some kind of a MVP model. And he asked some of the fundamental questions: why I have considered this factor, how I am foreseeing this particular problem will be resolved by the proposition whatever I am offering. And in that 30 minutes dialogue was very extensive, and he was challenging me all my thought process and the fundamentals, and I had to really sweat a lot about to justify about my proposition, and really support that points whatever I had been considering into this thing. So that 1.5 hour was really a reflection moment for me to really apply the knowledge, and how the application of the knowledge can resolve some of the typical problems what we are experiencing in the organization. So then I of course immediately he expressed that like this particular role demands a lot of practical knowledge to really solve some of the critical problem what organization is facing. So that didn't go through, but it didn't left my mind, and it is always still in my mind, the approach, the methodology that that interview process has taken. It's really mind-blowing. After that I really thought about it, like any amount of learnings will not have actually solved this particular problem, because it's a real application of the practical experience. Like without having that kind of scenario, it would be difficult to really propose some things which is looks more realistic, and evaluator also will not be able to really understand and the knowledge and the credibility of the candidates. So and after that I have been extensively studying about the different types types of case studies to practically validate my knowledge and see through that, like if I have any knowledge gap, and if I have a knowledge gap, what are the various steps I should take to really enhance that knowledge gap. I always interact with my mentors and try to see that, like how such type of the problems can be solved and what are they also doing, and can I really borrow some of these concepts and apply this same thing in our concept. So that's why I've been really also following to really enhance my knowledge in this kind of journey maps. And I am so strongly firmly believer about the case studies based approach, and wherever any trainings happen, I always try to see that, like I always give a case studies and try to see that, like if the candidate can start thinking about this particular problem, and what is the thinking orientation, is it a structural, is it a unstructured approach, like this actually challenge our thinking process, this actually challenge into our mindset also. So after that, I have been strongly spreading this case studies based approach, reading different types of case studies, spreading this case studies, and trying to encourage individuals to really go through the case studies to validate their learning process. So in my 101 business transformation case studies, I try to capture different types of problem and try to see that, like how leadership practices, how the leadership knowledge, or how the team concept or the team knowledge can really apply it into these case studies to solve some of this problem. Even the product management best practice also, like if you have learned some of the product management best practices, have you really exercised those thoughts into some of the case studies and really imagine that world or live that life? And if you have lived that life, you will be able to appreciate that, okay, how this knowledge can be applied on some particular problems, and how these particulars can reflect some of the gaps in your knowledge you have, so that you can really spread this information with your fellow colleagues, and really have a conversation around those kind of gaps, have a conversation around these problems, and together come out with a proposition like, okay, this is way we should be really approaching to enhance our knowledge base. I hope you'll use this business transformation case studies book or any other case studies to check that if you have some kind of a knowledge gap, and what do you need to really enhance those knowledge gaps. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you will try to apply this kind of learning process and enhance your knowledge base for our upcoming endeavor. Thank you very much. Bye.